There you are. Well, hi, friends. Doc South saying hey. Today, where I work, we were having a sale on cases of bottled water. Pretty good deal. Called my brother about it the other day, and well, Ed said, "Yeah, get me a few cases," and so I did. And I got a few for myself, the wife and I. And so I took a different ride home so I could drop my brother Ed's cases off at his house. Really wasn't out of the way, just a different route. And of course, going from basically the Blairstown, somewhat the Blairstown area, Hope, New Jersey, and then heading for Great Meadows. There's a road that goes past the land of make believe, and yeah, like that. And as I approached the Great Meadows area on this particular road, all of a sudden it hit me. I looked, the direction I was going. Let's see, I was heading south. Off to my left, to the east, there's all these fields, and those fields, since I was a kid, have been very fertile. I assume it's an old lake bed that may have dried up one way or another, maybe after the glaciers. And, well, it's just proven to be very, very good soil to grow vegetables. And there's a few very nice farms there. And I got to thinking, as old as I am, sometimes these things hit you. And I made a point not to forget my particular memory about those fields. I remember, let's see, I couldn't have been much more than 4. Yeah, so that's 70 years ago. And I was with my granddad. He and I were, I guess granddad knew perhaps one of the farms, knew the farmers. And he dropped in, that or he knew he could get really good corn on the cob there. And granddad was always, he loved to know where to get the best stuff to eat. And yeah. And so he dropped in on this farm. And I remember I'm with him, I'm walking around looking, I think they had some animals running around you could, the kids could torment. And I'm, just kind of hanging. Granddad's haggling about the corn and all that. He was going to buy a couple bushels. And anyway, he makes the deal. I hop into the car. I get into the back seat. Yeah, this time. Usually I'd sit up front with Granddad, but for some reason I got in the back seat and we're riding along. And again, this was long before seatbelts. Oh yeah, no seatbelts. Who wants to be trapped in a car if there's a wreck? Okay. And nothing. No one ever thought about being thrown through the window. But so I'm in the back, and hanging around. In fact, I seem to remember as a kid I used to do this, bang, 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 with the back of my head on the seat. Yeah, you did it too. Yeah. Okay. And I don't know, for one reason or another, I climbed up the back, the upright cushion of the back seat, and cars back then had the rear window, and then you had like a platform, and then the seat. So a lot of times, I don't know, I found it kind of relaxing to just, oh, heaven forbid, I'm keeping that I would be keeping Granddad from looking out the rear view mirror. I just park myself in that on that little platform and look out and lay there with my head like that and watch the world go, as we passed everybody. And Granddad was a pretty speedy driver for back then. And I'm just looking out the window, and Granddad said, "What, you're in your perch again?" I said, "Yeah." He says, "Wait till you see what's coming." He says, "You're going to like this. We're going uphill now." He says, "You stay right there and you just watch." And we're going up this hill. I'm looking down the road, out the back of the car, and we're getting higher and higher. We must have been somewhere in the neighborhood of perhaps the mountain that would connect to make Jenny jump State Park, that kind of, we're in that neck of the woods. And we're riding up and up and up. And he says, "Now look, what do you, look at out back, huh?" I said, I turn around and I'm looking out back and my eyes just bugged out. We were, I imagine we were probably 150, 200 feet up over that valley, and the trees were kind of low, and or we were actually I was looking over the tops of the trees down at that beautiful valley that makes up the Great Meadows, Vienna area. And I could see all the different farmers' fields. He says, "Do you see the farm we were at?" I said, I do. They had a Quonset hut, and I see it, a curved, it's like a curved roof. He says, "That's a Quonset hut. That's them." He says, "This is what it's like to fly." I think Granddad was a pilot in World War One. I don't think he got into combat, but he was, I think he was trained to be a pilot. He says, "Boy, what do you think?" I said, "This is so cool. Looking out the back, can we go up higher?" He says, "Well, as long as the road goes up, we can, but pretty soon we'll be to the top. I'll slow down a bit and you can look some more." There was no cars around, so big deal. And I am just looking. Pretty soon we're, the trees we had passed, we're looking down at the tops of them. I'm looking, yeah. Can see, gosh, I can look out pretty far. I even saw the water gap. You could see the water gap, if I recall right, and other mountains around. And it just looked so cool. I said, "Granddad, is this what flying is like?" He says, "Yep, sure is. You ought to learn to be a pilot someday." I said, "Well, yeah." I never did, but I got to say, I sure enjoyed that ride. And I was thinking of that today, and good old Granddad. Oh gosh, like I said, 70 years ago. Whew, man. I guess let me think. If I was 6, that would have been about 1952, something like that. Yeah, really cool. I know the name of the road. I can't quite think of it. I don't want to say Shades of Death Road. I think it's another road, but it goes on the it rises out of the valley from the eastern end of the valley up those mountains, if I recall right. Maybe the west, maybe northeast, something like that. Beautiful, beautiful road. Anyway, I thought I'd say, good old Granddad, huh? Yeah, good guy. Okay, well, I think, Lord's Prayer moment, sure. Our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. Lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, the power, the glory forever. So be it. Good old Granddad. Well, I hope he's up there flying around. he's probably wangled a pardon from the Almighty, I would think, by now. And him and my father are probably flying around in their respective airplanes. My father flew Corsairs, and I imagine Granddad probably, from what I heard, I think he flew seaplanes. I think he did. Yeah. They're probably very primitive ones, I would guess, but I think that's what he did. Anyway, I'll see you later. Thank you, friends, and God bless. Bye now.